Welcome to the round 15 game of the week. St Helens, of course, welcoming the Wigan Warriors to the totally wicked stadium in a game that is not to be missed. The Saints were in scintillating form at Magic Weekend as they slayed the Huddersfield Giants, as opposed to Wigan, who came unstuck against the new league leaders, the Catalan Dragons. Form goes out the window, though, as these two collide. Let's remind ourselves of the Good Friday clash between these two. The traditional Easter fixture list had Wigan taking on Saints yet again. Both sides coming into this game with injury concerns. No Jai Field for the Wigan Warriors and Alex Walmsley out for St Helens. Joe Shorrocks was recalled from the Lee Leopards for this game.
They've given away a set restart, they've then given away a penalty. And a chance here of Smith, that's a good pass. The dummy, the ball will go inside. And Harry Smith will strike first in the Good Friday derby. Brilliant play from Wigan. On the short side, pass, try. Wigan are ahead.
Well, he's pure class, I think, Harry Smith. He spots it, and I think it was Barney that was saying beforehand about what pressure will be on him with Joe Shorrocks playing in the house. But I think Harry Smith has been a standout player this year.
Well, there's no doubt that Harry Smith is running the show at the moment. Here's Conrad Hurrell looking for a way through for St Helens. There's the offload, brilliantly for Makington, up against Bevan French. Makington goes for the corner, French makes the tackle, and he goes into touch. Well, that's the best opportunity that Saints have had in this game. It was Conrad Hurrell with the offload, Tommy Makington arrowing towards the corner, but Bevan French, you shall not pass. Still time, still an opportunity. Shorrocks, French it is, and there's the try, and it's another try, and it's Toby King with the try, and Wigan extend their lead. It was a bit of indiscipline from St Helens. Sione Matantia with a latish hit on Joe Shorrocks, and Saints pay a heavy price, because Wigan strike first again, this time in the second half. Hurrell gets up very gingerly, little kick through from Don, and Lomax gets the ball down. Johnny Lomax for St Helens, they're back in it.
Slowing down, keep going, thank you. Now made my decision.
Johnny Lomax has got St Helens back into this derby. Last one again. What are Saints going to do? They're going to chip it short towards this corner. Miskey goes up for it. It's knocked on, and it's picked up by, it looks like Morgan Knowles has got it in the corner for St Helens. As Knowles got the try off the back of an error from Miskey.
He's in the field of play. Keep it going. Ball's there. Thank you. I've now made my decision.
He lost the ball as he was about to ground the ball. It's not.
So a much-needed win for the Cherry and Whites, 3 in a row now for the Wigan Warriors. As for Saints, their topsy-turvy season continues. Joe Shorrocks with a brilliant try-saving effort against Morgan Knowles at the death. But it was Wigan's defence throughout, protecting their try line, that was absolutely pivotal to this victory. Wigan 14, Saints 6. Was Wigan's second win in a row against St Helens. Saints prior to this had 5 in a row. So Wigan at the moment going into this game certainly having the better of things against the Saints, of course. Now let's take a look at who the top performers have been thus far in 2023 for each team. top performers and some great numbers there for the likes of Jack Welsby and Bevan French, to name but two. So let's take a look now at where these two teams are currently at. And of course, Saints now on a 3-game winning streak. They're the team in better form coming into this one. But like we've already said, form goes out the window when these two come to town. Wigan will be looking to avenge that really, really heavy defeat at the hands of the Catalan Dragons. As you can see there, the confirmation of the game that we have just seen. So Saints now find themselves in 6th position, still with that game in hand. Wigan dropped to 3rd. And look at the average points scored. Very little in it, as well as points conceded. It's hard not to say that Tommy Makinson is not the man in form after his 28-point haul at the weekend. And of course, Bevan French continues to be the leader of the Wigan Warriors this season. The odds, well, they see it very strongly to the home team, 4-11 on St Helens compared to 9-4 the Wigan Warriors. So now let's take a look in a bit more detail. Well, as you can see, the try scored, Wigan do have the advantage, but let's also keep in mind that St Helens have only played one game less, than the Wigan Warriors. As you can see, the average meters very close indeed. Tackle busts, again, very close. Clean breaks, close. Offloads, more to St Helens. Tackles average 299 a game for Saints. Plays 332 a game for Wigan. So Saints having ball in hand a little bit more on average in each game. The errors, well, 151 to 135. They're skewed a little bit by, like we say, the fact that Wigan have played a game more. But look at the penalties. It's the indiscipline of St Helens this season that is causing them a lot of problems. 6 yellow cards to 4. And of course, Saints have had a dismissal in 2023. Neither side can afford to lose a player in a game that has so much riding on it going into this match on Friday night. Now, if you caught this week's Super League Raw Weekly, you'd have seen myself and Greg discuss this game and give our predictions. And here it is. Indeed, it had to be. This game cannot be ignored for obvious reasons. St Helens taking on Wigan. Saints off the back of a domination of Huddersfield. Wigan on the back of a demolition at the hands of Catalan. It really is finely poised, this one. Of course, form goes out the window when these two go toe-to-toe live on Sky this Friday night. One not to be missed. Right, let's look at it. St Helens 9-17 for both the fans forum and for Gary Schofield. They're already going in on the chat. Greg, I'll just give you a few of these before you
go on then.
Wigan 9-17 for Alex Sharp.
Wigan 9-17.
Yeah, he's going Saint. Fenny McGilvey Saints 1 to wait. Ryan Birch 9-17 Saints. 18 plus for Graham Parish. John Wilkinson of Warrington 8-14 to the Pies. 1 to 8 Saints. Joel Scholes. Kevin Ogden 9-17 Saints. Linda 9-17 Saints. Kobe McGilvey 14 Saints, and Steve Wilson 1 to 8 Saints. So where are you seeing this, mate?
Like you say, form goes right out the window. Saints had Huddersfield fans. Saints had a fairly dominant and easy win over Huddersfield. Wigan will be hurt by that defeat. Wigan will be stinging. And I think changes could very well be made in a few places. And do you know what? I can see Wigan winning this.
Go on, mate.
I think Wigan are going to probably win it 9-17. I just get, when you get that feeling that
mate,
when Wigan's backs are against the wall,
yeah,
they always pull a performance out of the hat.
Yeah.
And I think nobody, and even more so when nobody expects them to win and when they're being dismissed as also rans. There's nothing so dangerous as a Wigan team that is being dismissed as underdogs. And I think Wigan are going to win this 9-17.
It's a big shout, mate. It's a big shout.
It is. I've got to start pulling big shouts out of that now.
Yeah, mate. It is a big shout. I'm going 9-17 for the Saints. I do think though, I can see them dropping Miski for this. I think Miski could be the player that's dropped after that. But he won't drop King. I think he'll look.
Well, who would he bring in his place?
Probably Thornley, innit? Or Hampshire, maybe.
Maybe.
More than likely Thornley, I would have thought. But yeah, I can
I
just
mean
say...
King, Toby King. I mean,
Well, Thornley can play centre, can't he?
Yeah.
To be fair, but I think King will hold. But I think if there's going to be a fall guy, I think it'll be Miskey. I really do.
Could very well be, although he's quick.
He is quick. I just think again though, very similar to Catalan. I don't think Wigan's pack are going to be able to live with St Helens. I really don't. I think I think the longer the season goes, the more we're going to see the fragility in that pack. I really do.
Maybe, but
it's not big enough.
No, it's not. I said that earlier on that it's a bit like watching us last season. I just, when you get that feeling that Wigan tend to bounce back and tend to bounce back well against teams like Saints when they're written off, and they have been pretty much this week.
Absolutely, mate. No, absolutely.
I just get one of those. I will probably be sitting here next week saying got it wrong, but I just get that feeling.
So the Super League Raw Weekly team were split right down the middle. I went for Saints, Greg went for Wigan. So now let's pick out the two key players, two players that could absolutely dictate how this game goes, and it had to be, didn't it? It is, of course, Mr. Welsby against Mr. French. These two players in phenomenal form this season. So let's take a look at how similar these two players are. First and foremost, here comes a great clip of Jack Welsby. Of course, we know that he likes to come in on the arch. This was against Hull FC earlier in the season. And in the next clip, you're going to see Bevan French doing almost the exact same thing for the Wigan Warriors. They do like to come in, support the forward line, and they find them gaps on the edges superbly well. But it's not just their attacking play that's good. They know when to pass the ball as well. This is a great example from the weekend. Look at this from Welsby. Fantastic run and offload to Mark Percival. And of course, here comes another one. This time, Bevan French at Lee, where here it comes. Look at that for a pass to the wings for Abbas Miskey. You heard me say there in Super League Raw Weekly, I did feel that Miskey may be dropped for this game. Such was the fragility of the right edge of the Wigan defence at the weekend. So let's take a little bit more look at these two players in more details. As you can see, one game difference between them. And Mr. Welsby's not had as good a season as many perhaps would have expected with his try scoring this season. Only the 3 to Bevan French's 10, but it's those try assists. Look at that, 13 apiece. Both of them cannot be split. The tackle bust in the favour of Bevan French. Clean breaks a little bit closer, but still French leads that. In terms of tackles, well, we saw French, of course, in the clip earlier on when he denied Tommy Makinson on Good Friday from that try. We know that Bevan French is very potent indeed, one-on-one in defence. Well, look at the offloads. Jack Welsby does keep the ball alive a lot more than Bevan French, and that could be something that they can utilise in this game. Errors pretty close, carries more for Welsby despite playing less games, but look at the meters, look at the potency of Bevan French, 1,644 for this season and counting. So it's now time to hear from the players and from the coaches, starting with Liam Farrell.
Yeah, anyone who knows anything about a Wigan Saints derby, it doesn't really matter about form in the previous few weeks. It's about on the day and which team turns up the best. And physically, they're a very big challenge, but they're one of the best games to be involved in. And especially from a Super League point of view, I think it's a great atmosphere, especially being at Saints Stadium. And it's one we're really looking forward to. Yeah, and it just means so much to the people of the town and the club, these derby games. That's something I learnt quick coming to St Helens, that people are quick to let you know that they need you to have a big game against Wigan, because there's some bragging rights there, and with how close the two towns are and things like that. So yeah, mate, it's definitely one that we've had circled, and we're looking forward to the contest. And we had a great contest there, a Good Friday, and hopefully we can get a packed crowd out like we were expecting, and get a great atmosphere for another a great game of rugby league. Saints are found quite a bit of form at the moment. We're coming off the back of a loss, but I'm sure it's going to be a great fixture to try and get our feet back on the ground. Saints have found quite a bit of form at the moment.
No, there isn't, and obviously it stung a lot that we were on the wrong end of that result, and we took so many fans over there, and they supported us brilliantly, but we couldn't get the result. So we definitely owe them one this week, and back on his own turf, and I think the ticket is selling well. There's not too many left. Good Friday last year was a sellout, so hopefully we can match that, and it's just an incredible feeling, and come 8 o'clock on Friday it'll be a really exciting place to be.
Yeah, it's always a massive challenge against them. They've been the benchmark of this competition for the last 4 or 5 years. They're always turn up to play against us as well, being a derby and a big clash. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a challenging game. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. Yeah, they've been amazing. I've travelled to most of the games, even being hurt, and they've been outstanding. So yeah, if it can continue on, it'll be great. Really gets us home in tough spots. Yeah, it's
absolutely. The atmosphere will be unbelievable on the weekend, and it's great that we're getting back to the level that these games are selling out again. I think we went through a period there where kind of the fans seem to have fallen out of love with it for a short while. But certainly, the way the team's been playing and the success that we've had in recent years, and obviously the Wigan's resurgence and how competitive they are now, these games are at the forefront of everybody's mind, and not just the supporters of St Helens and Wigan, but I think everybody involved in rugby league, and whether on this side of the world or not. The Saints Wigan game is one that you want to tune into, and the fact that we've got a sellout is clear evidence of that. We know how competitive they are. Obviously, we experienced that on Good Friday when we last played them. I think like most teams in the competition this year, they've had good patches, but they've also had periods where they by their own standards they would like to have been better. So it's been a bit of a that kind of a year for everybody involved. But certainly Wigan as a team, you look at the calibre of players they've got, the coach and how driven they are. You'd expect them to be in the mix come the end of the year.
And Matt Peat in his press conference also gave St Helens their dues. But first he commented on the Catalan performance. We got the basics wrong. Defensively, we were way off. We allowed them to get around the field way too easily. And if you do that against a team as good as Catalans, you're going to be under pressure. We have an honest group of players and staff, so it doesn't take long for people to put their hands up and share feelings. We're all here to work together to make sure we respond this week. As for Saints, he had this to say. They have a strong lineup, are well coached and have been successful for years. Mark Percival is a player who makes things tick, and they have Tommy Makinson, who has class. There will be no surprises as we know what will be coming. So everything is set for a superb game of rugby league at the Totally Wicked Stadium this Friday at 8 o'clock. This has been our review of that game. It's split down the middle. Which one are you backing? Well, it's going to be very, very close. Let's take a look at these two squads, and the big surprise is, as you can see, Brad Singleton is back for the Wigan Warriors. That's the big one for them and how they're concerned. It really is going to be an interesting game. Look at St Helens right the way through their squad, pretty much a fully fit side. They've not had that for many a week, so they have got a lot at their disposal coming into this game. You heard myself and Greg talk on Super League Raw Weekly. I do believe that the right edge of the Wigan's defence was really well targeted by the Catalan Dragons. Is that going to be something that Saints do? They tend to go down the right-hand side of their attack with Tommy Makinson. We saw that, of course, against Huddersfield. Will they shift? Will they go to the left-hand side? Will they bring the likes of a Ritson in? Will he be the difference? Will John Bennison be given a shot on the left-hand side to go up against that right edge? And will Mr. Thornley be in the starting lineup for Wigan? All of these questions are there. And of course, unlike the first game on Good Friday, both Jai Field and Alex Walmsley are back for their respective sides. I'm a neutral in this one, and you may be too. But there's something about this clash. We know it's going to be full of action, full of guts, full of hard tackles, and hopefully full of excellently executed tries. Don't miss it. 8 o'clock, Sky Sports, and here comes the trailer. Until the next time, this has been Game of the Week. For all videos of Super League Raw, do join our YouTube channel and make sure you're a part of the Fans Forum on Facebook for great content on everything Rugby League.